The phenomenon of furor involving Korean celebrities has never ceased to grab the attention of the public. This time, the center of the spotlight is again on one of the famous idols, Cha Eunwoo, a member of the ASTRO group as well as a top actor who is undergoing military service, Whamel. In the midst of his strict routine as an active soldier, Eunwoo is surprisingly caught on public camera while in a restaurant, sitting with a mysterious woman and one unidentified man. The brief moment immediately became a heated discussion, sparking curiosity, speculation, and of course a furor among fans and the media. Because, for a celebrity of Cha Eunwoo's class, every little move can be big news. This incident began last weekend, when some civilians who were in a famous restaurant in Seoul found a man in army uniform with a very familiar face. Their gazes were instantly fixed, because that man was none other than Cha Eunwoo at the same table. Eunwoo was seen accompanied by a long-haired young woman wearing a light blue sweater, as well as another man who appeared casual in a black jacket. Their conversation was warm, with occasional light laughter heard. There is no impression of tension. Instead, the atmosphere is very familiar, like a meeting of three old friends. However, due to Eunwoo's position in the army, his presence outside the headquarters with the two men is questioned. How could he be in that restaurant? Who are the women and men with him? The atmosphere of the restaurant that night was actually ordinary, until the presence of a man in a typical green military uniform changed the atmosphere. Some people had doubts whether it was true that the figure they saw was Cha Eunwoo, the multi-talented idol who was undergoing military service. However, the look in his eyes, his distinctive smile, and the way he spoke in a soft tone made anyone who saw no longer doubt. It was him. Eunwoo sat at a table that was a bit hidden, not too conspicuous, but could still be seen by some visitors who came later. The long-haired young woman beside him looked relaxed, occasionally chuckling a little while covering her mouth with her hand. The man sitting in front of him looks calm, listens more often than speaks. All three seem to be repeating old memories, because the way they interact shows a familiarity that is not made up. It didn't take long before someone from the other visitors grabbed the phone, then secretly recorded the moment. The resulting video takes no more than 60 seconds, but that's exactly what makes it even more interesting. With a short duration, the public is forced to guess more than it seems. It's only been 5 minutes since the video went viral on local platforms, and word has spread all over social media. When the restaurant's wall clock was still 8 in the evening, the virtual world had already exploded with speculation and theories. The first reaction came from among ASTRO's loyal fans. They couldn't hide their shock and joy at seeing Eunwoo looking healthy and happy in the middle of the army. However, that reaction was quickly mixed with misgivings as attention was drawn to the woman beside him. Who is he? It's a dominating question. Some immediately speculated that she might be a secret lover. Some suspected she was a relative, and some even thought the woman was just a casual acquaintance. The media began to highlight this intensely. Headlines sprung up with a variety of tones. Some emphasize the mystery, some choose to emphasize the positive side, but some seem provocative. In the 5th minute since the video circulated, the Korean online news station reported the gist of the event. Cha Eunwoo was seen eating at a restaurant with a woman and a man in the middle of the draft. It is not yet clear who they are, and the agency is expected to provide clarification soon. That short sentence became the basis of all subsequent speculation. The international fans were no less excited. Army, to other fandoms that have intersected with Eunwoo's popularity commented. Fanbase accounts from Latin America, Europe, and Southeast Asia reshared snippets of the video with various subtitles. There are those who try to analyze through gestures, facial expressions, to the distance between Eunwoo and the woman. Some even try to find out which restaurants are visited by comparing the interiors and menus that appear at a glance in the recordings. Meanwhile, in South Korea itself, fans flooded online forums with lengthy discussions. There are those who study Eunwoo's track record before enlisting in the army, trying to connect with old rumors about his friendship with several young actresses. There were also those who alluded to the past of the man sitting with Eunwoo, suspecting that he was a high school friend or even a groupmate who was not known to the public. All those speculations extend the list of theories that are growing wildly on the internet. The restaurant where Eunwoo was seen was starting to get unexpected sustenance. A number of netizens wrote fake reviews just to mark that they had come to Eunwoo's place to eat. In an instant, the restaurant became a popular location in search engines, and it was even suspected that it would become an impromptu tourist destination for fans who were curious to see the same place. However, behind this euphoria, there is also concern. Some hardline fans were furious that Eunwoo's privacy had been violated. They affirmed that secretly recording someone, especially during the draft, is an inappropriate act. For them, Eunwoo has the right to enjoy his time without the spotlight, even if it's just sitting for a while in a restaurant with friends or family. A heated debate was inevitable in the comment space, between those who felt that the moment was natural to immortalize due to its status as a celebrity, and those who considered that the act crossed the line. The Fantajo agency itself initially chose silence. No official statement, no quick clarification. It is precisely this silence of the agency that further increases the curiosity of the public. Netizens began to wait for any updates from the media, hoping for an explanation of the identities of the two people who accompanied Eunwoo that night. Major entertainment media such as Dispatch and Sumpi began writing long articles, emphasizing the unsolved mystery side. Some entertainment observers tried to give a more rational point of view. They emphasized that Eunwoo, like any other human being, certainly has a personal life. The fact that he was able to go out for dinner may have been due to a leave of absence or being on military leave. They also remind the public that the presence of women and men is not necessarily related to romantic things. Could be relatives, friends, or even co-workers who come to visit. However, rational opinion is often inferior to the emotions of fans hungry for dramatic stories. In the midst of all that commotion, large fanbase accounts began to lead different narratives. They chose to emphasize Eunwoo's health and happiness. The most important thing is that she looks fine, wrote one of the accounts of an international fanbase with hundreds of thousands of followers. This stance has slowly dampened some of the worries, but speculation continues. The international media is not to be missed. Entertainment tabloids in Japan and China highlighted the news with the headline, "Cha Eunwoo smiles with a mysterious woman." In the United States, a teen entertainment portal even wrote an article about how global fans could react so quickly from just a short video. This phenomenon shows how much influence Eunwoo has, even when he is not active in the entertainment world because of his enlistment. Even more interesting is the psychological impact on the fans. Many admitted that it was difficult to sleep that night because they kept thinking about who exactly was the woman sitting next to Eunwoo. Others feel jealous, even though they are aware that they do not have a personal relationship with him. There were also those who suddenly felt grateful that the man was also present, as if his presence was balancing rumors that might be too much if it was just Eunwoo and the woman alone. The debate gets even hotter when someone claims to recognize the woman. He mentioned that she was a newcomer actress who had appeared on a variety show a few years ago with Eunwoo. However, the claim has not been verified. Photos of the comparison circulated, sparking further discussion. Until finally, the day after the video went viral, Fantajo issued a short statement. Cha Eunwoo is on military leave and spending time with his close friends. We ask the public not to speculate further. The brief statement seemed to close the issue, but instead opened a new chapter of the debate. Some fans accepted with relief, while others remained dissatisfied because the identities of the woman and man were not specifically mentioned. Time